Two Tomahawk cruise missiles suddenly burst out of the ocean, racing toward the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group at incredible speed. The carrier's Mk-15 phalanx close-in weapon systems immediately sprang into action, unleashing thousands of rounds per minute. Within seconds, the incoming missiles appeared to be shredded into pieces. But something unexpected happened. Instead of exploding, the missiles broke apart in midair, releasing massive clouds of metallic chaff. At the same time, a powerful electromagnetic pulse swept across the battlefield. The carrier's radar screens instantly went dark. Alarms echoed throughout the ship. The commander stared at the displays in disbelief. Before anyone could react, another missile erupted from beneath the waves. The phalanx systems opened fire again, filling the sky with a storm of bullets. Yet with the radar disabled and targeting systems failing, the defense network was practically blind. The missile slipped through the barrage like a ghost. Crew members braced for impact. The missile slammed onto the flight deck, but it didn't explode. Instead, it ricocheted across the deck, spinning wildly as it shot past the command tower. For a moment, everyone froze. Then they realized something terrifying. That missile had only been a distraction. The real attack was just beginning. Without warning, a nuclear submarine burst through the surface nearby. Water exploded into the air as the giant vessel surged forward. It wasn't slowing down. It was heading directly toward the American carrier. The crew watched in shock. The submarine's commander seemed completely fearless. Believing a collision was imminent, the American commander ordered the carrier to move at maximum speed. The two giants closed the distance. Closer, closer. Then, at the last possible second, the carrier changed course and narrowly avoided disaster. A catastrophic collision had been prevented, but the submarine wasn't finished. It quickly turned and began shadowing the carrier from behind. Despite being surrounded by American warships, the submarine's captain transmitted a shocking message. "We declare independence." The announcement stunned everyone listening. The American commander wasn't interested in negotiations. He immediately ordered all nearby ships to prepare for combat. Moments later, anti-submarine weapons were launched. Missiles streaked through the sky. Explosions erupted across the sea. But amid the chaos, the submarine accelerated and dove deep beneath the surface. Then it vanished. Minutes later, it reappeared directly beneath the carrier. Before anyone understood what was happening, torpedoes shot upward through the water. White trails raced toward the target. The carrier's defenses had almost no time to react. A massive explosion shook the ocean. Fire erupted from the hull. The mighty warship began taking on water. Crew members rushed to emergency stations. Orders for evacuation echoed across the decks. As seawater flooded the ship, the carrier slowly tilted to one side. And then, before the eyes of the entire fleet, the giant vessel slipped beneath the waves. The impossible had happened. An American aircraft carrier had been sunk. The next morning, news of the disaster reached Washington. The president was furious. To restore American prestige, military leaders ordered the 7th Fleet to mobilize immediately. Every available asset was deployed. Their mission was simple: find the rogue submarine and destroy it. Soon, reconnaissance aircraft located the target near Tokyo Bay. Warships formed a massive blockade. Missiles were prepared. The submarine appeared trapped. Then another surprise changed everything. Captured American sailors were brought onto the submarine's deck. A message was broadcast over open radio channels. The prisoners would be harmed if an attack was launched. Faced with an impossible choice, American commanders hesitated. Eventually, they stood down. The submarine escaped, and the world watched in disbelief. Days later, another crisis erupted. A mysterious phone call reached senior defense officials. The reaction was immediate. The president was rushed away from a public sporting event under heavy security. Nobody knew why. Minutes later, disaster struck. A massive explosion ripped through the city. A towering mushroom cloud rose into the sky. Shockwaves swept across the landscape. Emergency teams rushed into the devastation. Special operations units searched the ruins. Miraculously, the president survived. But panic spread throughout the government. Fearing another strike, leaders evacuated aboard Air Force One. An emergency meeting began in the skies. Military analysts searched desperately for answers. Who had launched the attack? Suspicion quickly fell on a rival nuclear power. Tensions exploded. Military forces on both sides entered high alert. Strategic bombers were prepared. Missile crews stood ready. The world edged closer to nuclear war. Then another tragedy occurred. A rogue military commander launched unauthorized attacks, further escalating the crisis. Both nations suffered losses. Politicians demanded retaliation. Generals prepared battle plans. Within hours, bombers were airborne. Submarines moved into position. Missile silos opened. Nuclear launch codes were brought out. Humanity stood on the brink. One wrong decision could end civilization. Then came a breakthrough. Investigators examining radioactive debris discovered something unexpected. The weapon used in the attack didn't belong to either superpower. Evidence pointed somewhere else entirely. A covert intelligence team launched a desperate investigation. Their search led them across the Middle East. Eventually, they found a dying man suffering from radiation exposure. With his final strength, he revealed the truth. Several days earlier, he had discovered an abandoned nuclear device buried underground. Unaware of its significance, he sold information about it to criminal smugglers. The weapon changed hands multiple times. Eventually, it was purchased by extremists. Their goal was terrifying: trigger a global war by making two nuclear powers blame each other. The bomb had been hidden inside ordinary cargo and been avoided. As the crisis ended, exhausted leaders reflected on how close humanity had come to extinction. A single hidden bomb, a single act of deception, and the entire world had nearly gone to war. For now, peace had survived, but the lesson remained clear. Sometimes the most dangerous weapon isn't a missile, a submarine, or a nuclear bomb. It's a lie powerful enough to make nations turn against one another. The end.